So just wanted to do a separate video on the BoxIt large rack that we use on the back of our Stromer here at the workshop at Forwards Electric. This particular rack, I'll just take this off and I'll take it off live while I'm chatting to you and just show you how it works. And this is why it's just so cool, the idea of it. You just slide that off and there you go. That whole thing comes off, and then you're back to your Stromer without the rack. So that's what it's like without that rack on. So what we noticed is that we needed to solve a problem of being able to carry large items on the bike. So for us, we go backwards and forwards to the parcel depot, and we need to be able to drop parcels on the way in, the way out, and then just various times during the day, move things around the city and that with which are quite large, and we couldn't get them onto our bike. And the whole purpose of our electric bike was to replace the van. So we noticed that the rack that Stromer use is a RackTime Rack, which you can see there. And it actually has fitments on it to use various different accessories. So we went onto their the RackTime website and then discovered that you can buy these, which are called BoxIts. So it's a metal frame, and then the metal frame has the RackTime system on the bottom, and then that just clicks into the frame, which I'll show you in a second. And then what you can do is you can pop a plastic container in there, and then you're all set, and then you can then put larger items on it. The downside with it is when we received it, we realised that it's not actually rated to be used with the narrower racks. So the Stromer comes with the 70mm rack, so the narrower rack, and it's actually rated, this one's rated to be used with the 100 or the 120mm. The reason we believe that is that if you use a narrower rack, it hasn't quite got enough width to secure this from side to side. So when you're riding with weight on, there's obviously quite a lot of movement side to side, and then these clips that are held in place are only plastic. What you can do with this though, as soon as you get it, you can actually adjust it. You adjust these parts in, and it does still fit the bike. So we've adjusted those in, and then if we move it over to the bike here, I'll just try and flip that cargo net out of the way. Not very easy to do this with one hand. Maybe I need to update my camera system. We are doing this on a budget, of course. We're just trying to get information to you. So there you go. So it just goes on there and then clicks in. Awesome. So it fits perfectly. So it fits amazing. And then all of a sudden we've got this huge space to be able to carry stuff. You can then pop your plastic tray in, and then you're away. So it solves the problem that we had, which we couldn't carry large objects on the bike. But technically, as I said, it's not supposed to be used with the narrower racks. So what we did is we had a look at it and thought, well, what's the reason? And then we, as I said earlier, we think the reason is that there's just not enough side to side security to stop this flexing side to side, and then you're potentially just going to break those clips, and then all your kit's going to go off the back of the bike, which wouldn't be ideal. So what we do with it is we have some large heavy duty zip ties. Sounds a bit crude that, but I will show you what they're like. They're quite large. We'll grab some of them, and then I'll show you how we fit those onto the bike. So we use these, and then on the actual rack, you've got a place you can pass through the rack, like so. And then using those heavy ties. They're not like teeny ties, these are 14mm ties, so they're super heavy duty. So there you go. So we'd have one there, one here, and one here. So we have 4 of those, and basically what we've got extra security there. So we are restricting how much it moves because we've locked it down onto the rack with these ties, so that's giving us more purchase onto the rack, so it stops it wobbling in the first place. And then if for any reason one of the clips was to crack or have an issue, you've also got these 4 additional ties to keep it intact. We've used it now for 6 months or so, longer than 6 months. We've had absolutely no issue with it. Of course, the number one thing you're going to have is it reduces the practicality of being able to take the rack on and off. So the rack is continuously stuck on there. If you want to take it off using the RackTime system, you have to cut your ties and take your ties off to be able to lift the rack off. So we've gone with it. We think it's an amazing way of giving us even more flexibility with our Stromer to be able to carry luggage and stuff around. But if you did want to copy that idea, and certainly if we were putting it onto a customer's bike, we absolutely have to make them aware that it's not technically a modification or an aftermarket part that should be used on this particular rack. So do so at your own risk if you wanted to do it. So that's how we use it. That's how we get around the problem. I'm quite excited about the potential that Stromer will give us an option, or maybe give us a retrofit, which would be nice, to have the 100 or the 120 wide rack. That would be amazing. So we have fed that back to Stromer. Hopefully they're going to come back and then say that's an optional extra. We don't mind paying extra for them as an aftermarket part if it allows us to be able to use this sort of part to make the bike even more practical. So it's not for everybody. It does make the bike look a bit cumbersome, not quite as elegant as Stromer wanted it to look, but it does make the bike all of a sudden very, very practical to carry luggage and use the bike more as a cargo bike. So hope you like that. If you've got any questions, just let us know. But once again, if you do want to do the modification, do so at your own risk. I'm just showing you what we've done to ours, just in case anyone was interested from the pictures. Catch you in the next video.